Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today we go to Daytona in the Xfinity Series and in the Cup Series. And in the Xfinity Series we had a NASCAR legend in the car, Tony Stewart. Obviously our team's affiliated a little bit with Stewart-Haas Racing even in the Xfinity Series. Obviously myself being a Stewart-Haas driver now in the Cup Series. So we had an opportunity to put Tony Stewart in the car. He didn't qualify all that great, but he would slowly find his way forwards in this race, as you see him going in the 27th position through turns 2 right now as he came down the back straightaway. But he would quickly jump up some positions. By the time he came to the midway point in this race, he got up to P12, and he had a lot of speed in this car, and he certainly came over the radio many times and said that he felt like he could pull off the victory for this team, and he would climb his way even further up by the time he came to the final lap, making a move for the 4th position on the inside of Ryan Reed as they came through turns 1 and 2. He had a big run coming out of turn 2, looking to the inside now of the 55 as they came down the back straightaway, as Stewart has a chance to get this team its first win of the season, as Tift would move up the track, allowing Stewart to look to the inside of him as well, as he just barely gets on the yellow line without going under it now as they go 3 wide for the lead in Daytona on the final lap, as Tony Stewart would come through out of turn 4 in front in command as the 55 would follow through. Tony Stewart's going to come through to add to his wins in Daytona as he picks up a victory here in the number 99 Ford Mustang Hunt Brothers Pizza car. So a great race for Stewart, and he would obviously get to have a great time doing the burnout. We certainly didn't expect a victory coming into this race. Last episode, I was able to get this team a top 10, and that certainly, I hope, built this team's confidence up. And now Tony Stewart comes through to bring us a victory, which also will put this team now in the playoffs. But do we have the speed to contend in the playoffs? I don't know. We still need to decide on a driver once we get to the playoffs. Tony Stewart already says no, he's not going to be a full-time driver in the Xfinity Series, so we can write him off as a potential candidate for a driver in the playoffs. But now it's time to set our sights on the Cup Series race, Daytona, a track that we run half decent at. We've been close to winning a 500 here. We've also flipped at the end of a 500 here, so you never know what's going to happen. But we came to qualifying coming through turns 3 and turns 4. This is in the first round. In the 500 we qualified, I think, mid-20s, and it would pretty much be the same story again as we came through the tri-oval. We would come across the line, and we will start P26 here in Daytona with a 46.438. So let's climb our way forwards here in this Daytona night race.
Tonight, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series returns to Daytona International Speedway for the running of the Coke Zero Sugar 400. Now, we're halfway through what has so far been a thrilling regular season. Several drivers have already clinched their spots in the playoffs. For those on the outside looking in, a win and you're in. But winning here is never easy. The racing action at Daytona is as hot and unpredictable as the Florida weather. We're all set to go 400 miles. NASCAR racing is next.
Alright, we are ready to go green here in Daytona. Austin Dillon is on the pole. Bubba Wallace posted some fast laps in practice. He's usually pretty good at these play tracks in this game. Brad Keselowski has been apparently struggling all weekend, so he has some work to do. As, like I said, Austin Dillon on the pole. Kurt Busch in P2 as we get ready to start alongside the 42 of Kyle Larson as the green flag is out, and we are underway for this night race in Daytona now as we approach the line. The first stage is only 9 laps, and so is the second stage as we sit behind the 21 right now of Paul Menard as we head down towards turns 1 and 2 for the first time in tonight's race. Austin Dillon off to a pretty solid start as the outside line did not have a good start at all. You see Kurt Busch, who's led that outside line on the start, actually gets up into the third groove and makes it 3 wide, and an absolutely horrible start for this top line. It actually split up the pack a little bit as about maybe the top 10 cars or so got a little bit of a gap between everybody else there you see up ahead. They're all pretty good ways up ahead, so we certainly have some work to do already early in this race to get this pack combined with that front pack. Now is a very terrible start for that outside line from Kurt Busch, has certainly made things interesting very early on between 2 little packs now as we would cross the line to complete this first lap, sitting behind the 21 of Menard, moving into that 23rd position after the first lap. And as we head down into turns 1 and 2, still behind that 21 of Menard, we have the 18 of Kyle Busch behind us, the driver that leads the series points this season over myself, as we sit P2 coming into this race now as we come down the back straightaway, using that draft from 21 to close in on his back bumper now as we're alongside our teammate of Clint Boyer as we head down towards turns 3. And being kind of stuck on this outside line certainly has made it a challenge to gain a bunch of positions early on here in this first stage now as we come out of turn 4 side by side with the 14 of Clint Boyer. He's going to come up the track and put me into the wall though, as that was a very late move from Boyer to move up, and he just doored me into the wall, similar to what Jimmy Johnson did here last season to myself. But this would allow me to get to that inside line, and we would regroup and move back into that 22nd position and now be looking to the inside of Timmy Hill. But certainly a little bit of issues with one of our teammates now as the pack is finally regrouped at this point as we're on lap 6 of 9 in the first stage, as we would look to the outside of Corey LaJoy in that 32 down the back straightaway. But certainly that was a bit of a setback with that incident with Boyer, so stage points at this point were looking a little bit unlikely, but we were going to try our best now as we went down into turn 3. No one really, not many cars on that outside line, so I had to get back down to that inside behind Corey LaJoy because the outside was going nowhere. And by the time we came to the white flag in stage 1, only sitting in the 19th position, looking to the back of the 19 of Truex as we head down towards turns 1, give him a little bit of a bump, and then we leave him out to dry and send it to the inside line. And as we come through the center of the corner, pretty even with the 19 of Truex now on this final lap in stage 1 on the back of Jamie McMurray in the number 40 car as we come down the back straightaway for the final time in stage 1. Looking like we might be able to make a move to the inside of McMurray, and we do as we go into turn 3 as they go 3 wide up ahead between Johnson, Blaney, and Matt DiBenedetto now as we come through turns 3 and 4 for the final time in the stage. Chase Elliott in the number 9 Napa car in command as we come through down to the tri-oval, looking to the inside of LaJoy as we come through. Elliott wins stage 1, and we get P17 after a 3 wide move late on Corey LaJoy. He would edge me out though, and we would get that 17th position, so certainly some work to do in this race as no one would pit, so obviously we would stay out as Chase Elliott picks up a playoff point, as he's certainly having a better season right now than he has in past seasons in this career mode. Hopefully we can get inside the top 10 here in this second stage to at least get a few points now as we get ready to start. P17 behind the number 95 of Matt DiBenedetto, who sits P15 as the green flag is back out, and we are going once again here in Daytona as the second stage is underway, and Chase Elliott leads us to the green flag. He has one win this season. I can't remember what track it was, but he's certainly been having a pretty solid season compared to what he has had in the past here in our career mode now, as Ryan Blaney has absolutely horrible restart, and he loses a lot of ground into the cars up ahead, but now as the inside line kind of checks up a bit, allowing Blaney to close back in on the back of the 37 of Chris Buescher as McMurray comes alongside on the right hand side. He slows up though, keeping me even with him as we look to the inside of Matt DiBenedetto now, who gets up to that top line as we try to use the draft from the 48 of Johnson to close in on the back of him. And now as we come through turn 3, closing in on being even with the 95 of Matt DiBenedetto as we edge him out coming out of turn 4, moving into that 16th position now as he's right on my door as we exit turn 4 as we head down through the tri-oval to come through to complete this first lap in the second stage, looking on the inside of the 32 of LaJoy, and Chase Elliott at this point had lost the lead. And Kurt Busch had taken over the lead now as Ricky Stenhouse Jr. would follow through as well to take that second position. And certainly a bad recipe when you have Ricky Stenhouse Jr. at the front of the field now as we come out of turn 2 going down the back straightaway. And as we close in on the back of the 48, just about giving him a little bit of a tap to the bumper now as we sit still in that 16th position on the halfway point of lap 2 as we head down into turns 3, just continuing to ride on this bottom line because I know there's a lot of speed down here as Kurt Busch leads the way right now as he comes out of turn 4 in command here in Daytona. Kurt Busch as well with one win on the season. Jimmy Johnson in front of me, he has no wins yet this season. He's had a rough one, but he's still inside the playoffs. Now as we have Truex riding behind me, we would continue to follow Johnson. By the time we came to lap 5, we got up to the 12th position as he's about to make a 3 wide with Landon Castle and Jimmy Johnson as we make a little bit of contact with the 22 of Joey Logano as we come down the back straightaway side by side with that 22, and Corey LaJoy sits behind me still as we head down towards this third turn here in Daytona. Harvick and Castle up ahead battling side by side. Landon Castle got stage points in the last episode, and here he is again looking like he might do that here in Daytona now as we come out of turn 4, and we weren't able to look to the inside of the 48. By the time we came to 2 to go on the stage, we had the 22 get down in front of me, but we would make a move to the outside and jump up on this outside line because I seen there was a good group of cars up here and we might be able to make something work. So I decided to at least give it a shot to see what we can do with this outside line as we close in on the back of the 43 of Bubba Wallace as we come down the back straightaway, approaching the white flag in stage 2 this time by. And as we head down towards turns 3, just trying to make this outside work, but it's looking like it might not happen now as the 32 of Corey LaJoie is going to look to my inside as well as we come through the center of the corner. As we exit turn 4, though, a little bit of a check up there from the outside, closing me in on the back of the 43. Have to get out of the throttle just for a moment as we come through the tri-oval to start this white flag in this second stage now from the 12th position. And certainly we need to try and get to that bottom line if possible as we head down towards turns 1 and 2 for the final time in stage 2. LaJoie even with me as we come through the center of the corner now as he peeks ahead as they are getting a little bit unorganized in front of me as we come down the back straightaway, though, building up a pretty decent run. We might be able to get down in front of the 32 and we get clear just enough to where I'm going to jump down and make an aggressive late move to the inside of the 22 and the 43 of Bubba Wallace as we go 3 wide through the center of the corner, getting ahead of the 22 and the 43. Now looking to the inside of Jimmy Johnson as we exit turn 4, and Denny Hamlin on his outside as we come through the tri-oval. Chase Elliott once again will win the stage as we edge out the 48 for the 8th position in stage 2 as we had a good 3 wide battle there for the last half of a lap or so with Logano, LaJoie, Hamlin, and Johnson now as everyone would pit. And usually the AI take 4 tires on pit stops at play track, so I figured I would take 4 tires, and that wasn't the case this time as we would lose 14 positions on pit road, but really it's a plate track, so I wasn't concerned. I know we can easily work our way back forward as we get ready to start this final stage. And the green flag is back out, and we are underway here in the final stage in Daytona. It's not a very long one now as we come through to cross the line. It is just 18 laps here in this final stage as we approach the back bumper. Michael McDowell obviously losing these spots on pit road a setback, but I'm hoping that we can work our way forwards. And I certainly learned that maybe next time we come to a plate track, we don't need to take 4 tires on a pit stop. So certainly kind of good that this happened to us now that we get a learning experience from it now as we have the 88 on our inside of Alex Bowman, a chance to get to the inside as we cut off the 19 of Truex. Obviously, I have no problem cutting him off right now as he's certainly not been a very nice driver to us in this season as we head down towards turn 3, looking to the inside of the 34. Michael McDowell just using this inside line to my advantage, and hopefully if we just stay on this bottom line, eventually we will work our way forwards. That's usually how I work my way forwards at plate tracks, is you just stay on the bottom and eventually you're going to move yourself towards the front now as we cross the line, looking to the inside now of the 37 of Chris Buescher as we're going to take a 3 wide with him and Bowman as we head down towards turns 1 as Elliott continues to lead this race. He's won both stages so far. He hasn't been dominant. He's really not led many laps. He's just found himself at the front at the right time now as we come out of turn 2 side by side with the 88 of Alex Bowman. And we're pretty even with him in terms of speed, but we do get a run, though, down the back straightaway going down towards turn 3 with help from the 12 of Blaney of his draft now as we close in on a top 20 position here as we try to look to the inside of the 20 of Jones as he clears me, though, and we're going to kind of defend 88. He looked like he was maybe thinking about making a move, but I did not allow that to happen now as we come through the tri-oval, sitting in that 21st position as LaJoie. He's kind of being hung out up there as he tries to stay in line as we close in once again on the back of the 20 and the 12 of Blaney as we look to the inside of Eric Jones going through turns 1 and 2. LaJoie, he's being checked up there as the 43 jumped up in front of him, and the LaJoie checked up, and so did Eric Jones as me and Blaney both built up a pretty decent run down the back straightaway, but it would stall out right there, so we couldn't go any further at this point as we sat P19 down the back straightaway, and by the time we came to lap 30, working our way into P15 behind Eric Almirola. Now as behind we have a spin, and Sparker Kligerman who goes up into the field, and he takes out the 8 of Daniel Hemrick and collects Haley Deegan as well, and the caution would fly, and that would set us up for a pretty late race restart here in Daytona as Austin Dillon would be leading at this point. I knew he would get a wreck eventually. I was surprised that it was at the back of the field, though, but obviously, thankfully, we don't get taken out in anything as we're ready to go green, and the green flag is back out. It is 10 laps to go once we cross the stripe here in Daytona behind the 10 of Eric Almirola, one of our Stewart-Haas Racing teammates, as we try to work our way towards the top 10 now. Almirola, certainly one of the better plate racers in the field now, as we get a pretty bad restart, though, allowing the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. to get down in front of me as Landon Castle, he stays all the way up to the top now as he gets in line behind Ryan Truex, who's going to get down to that inside line as we come out of turn 2, getting into the back of Stenhouse now, trying to give him a shove as we go down the back straightaway, trying to work our way, like I said, towards that top 10 as we battle alongside the 95 of Matt Benedetto as we head down towards turns 3, as Austin Dillon in command right now here in Daytona as we come through the center of the corner. Maybe a chance to look to the inside of Stenhouse, but I thought better of it right there as we come out of turn 4, getting side drafted from the 95 of Benedetto, so I decided to do the same thing to him there as I side drafted him for a brief moment as we come across the line on his quarter panel as we head down towards turns 1 and 2. Austin Dillon still leads now over second place of Ryan Newman, and this is one of the first times that Ryan Newman has run up front in this season where he hasn't crashed, so hopefully he doesn't crash right now as we make a 3 wide with Stenhouse and Castle as we come down the back straightaway, trying to move into the top 15 now as we're going to give them a little bit of a side draft, but it's really not working to my advantage now as we would lose those 2 positions that we tried to gain as we head down towards turn 3 in that 15th position now, as we just need to use this inside line the best we can now as we look to the inside of Castle once again, trying to take that position away. And we would continue to move forward on this inside line. By the time we came to lap 37, we would move into that 11th position on the inside of Denny Hamlin now in the 11 car, as we were certainly starting to work our way forwards as we get into the back of the 9, trying to push him forward as we come down the back straightaway. And as we come down the back straightaway, we build up a big run, looking to the inside of the 9 now of Ellie as we're 3 wide with him and Denny Hamlin as we head into turn 3, now moving ourselves inside the top 10 late here in Daytona as William Byron's up on that outside line, and so is Ryan Blaney. And by the time we came to lap 38, looking to that inside of William Byron and making it a 3 wide with Truex and Menard now as we come down the back straightaway, but unable to make it work as we sat in that 8th position at this point as we battled alongside the 21 of Menard, and we would just continue to fight our way forwards in this race as we only had 5 laps to go. By the time we came to lap 40 now, sitting in 6th behind our teammate Almirola, I jumped up to the top thinking about maybe trying to help him out, but he was all by himself, so I kind of decided to leave him out to dry, and as I moved to the inside, Kurt Busch jumped up to the top, but then he can't really decide if he's going to go to the bottom line right now or if he's going to go up top now as we come down the back straightaway side by side with our teammate of Eric Almirola as we head down towards turns 3. Kurt Busch trying to win this race as Ryan Newman leads us as a bit of a checkup, and then allows me to look to the inside as behind we have a spin from the 66 of Joey Gase, who goes up in front of the field, but the green flag would stay out and we would keep racing as we came out of turn 4 as we continue to battle with Ryan Truex, as I was looking back for a good period of time wondering if we were going to get a caution as we crossed the line to hit 2 laps to go here in Daytona. And that incident would certainly create a breakaway as we didn't have the whole field now with us in this pack as Ryan Newman leads through turns 1 and 2 over second place of Ryan Blaney, and third place Kurt Busch as we come down the back straightaway with a lap and a half to go. Blaney looking to the inside, and we're going to try to pick up his draft and look to the inside of Ryan Truex if possible as Blaney makes a move for the lead late in Daytona as we stick our nose up the inside of Truex as we close in on the back of Kurt Busch now as Newman is hung out here on this top line as he was leading coming to the white, but it's not going to be enough as Newman falls back down to P3, about to fall down back to 4th as we move up into this 3rd position, a chance to maybe pull something off here in Daytona as the white flag is out, and the Kurt Busch, he's going to move to the top line, and I'm going to stay committed to the back of the 1 just like we did in the Daytona 500 last season. We were committed to Kurt Busch, and we're going to do it again now as we come through turns 1 and 2, though my momentum stalls out as the 12 and the 1 battle side by side for the lead here in Daytona. Almirola, my teammate, looking to my inside as his move when we left him out is certainly going to pay off for him now. And as we come down the back straightaway for the final time, Kurt Busch at the moment in command as we tried to push him to a victory in the Daytona 500 last season, and we tried to do the same again today, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen as Blaney has the edge coming out of turn 4 as he battles alongside the 1 of Kurt Busch as we come down the front straightaway for the final time in Daytona. Blaney comes through the trial to win in Daytona as we come through to get the 5th finishing position as a thrilling finish here to end out this race in Daytona. We certainly had to spice things up there. I was hoping we could have had a chance to win, but I knew maybe I could have made a really aggressive move to make it 3 wide with Blaney and Kurt Busch when we came to the white flag, but I thought a little bit smarter of it, and I tried to help the 1, and unfortunately it didn't work out, and I kind of felt bad that once again I tried to put or help Kurt Busch get to the front of the pack, really to help myself. in all selfishness, but I still tried to help that one car of Kurt Busch, and for the second time at Daytona, it didn't work out, unfortunately, but we still got a top 5 out of it. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Those would all be incredibly appreciated. In the next episode, we do have Kentucky, which is, there's about 3.5 miles in this game that I struggle at. Kansas, Chicagoland, and Kentucky. So Kentucky's going to be, once again, an interesting one. Hopefully we can run pretty good at the track. I feel like we'll have speed. It's just about keeping the car clean now, as hopefully we can pull that off as you see the standings on your screen. But I'd like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch one of my videos. I appreciate it, like I always say, and hopefully in the next episode in Kentucky, maybe we can find a way to bring home win number 3 on the season. So there you see the playoff standings. Blaney's locked in, and Bowman's the last car in over Austin Dillon right now. So thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you guys in the next one, and have yourselves a great day.